All right, sweet. All right, guys, what is up? Welcome back to another THPstrength podcast. On this podcast, we are interviewing Lun Chen. So, Lun Chen, tell us a little bit about yourself, what your background is, where you're living, what your job is. Give us some information here.
Okay, hi, everyone. This is Lun Chen. Greetings from Beijing. I currently reside in Beijing, and I went to school in New York, Stony Brook, Long Island, and I am now a professional performance enhancer.
Wow, that sounds like you're a walking human steroid, like a walking syringe. I like that. I really like that a lot. That's what I'm going to start. I'm going to put that in my Instagram bio from now on. If you need to, also, Lun Chen also you have a podcast in China
Yeah.
then as well. How popular are
Uh,
you in Beijing?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good.
Are you more popular than we are in the US in Beijing?
I don't think so.
I
Now,
think you
you
are.
guys are like the top, like right around here.
But not in What about in Beijing? We're not more popular than you there, right?
Why? Well, I don't think THP is very popular in China, but Isaiah is. He is. That guy right there. He is. He's really popular here.
No, I'm kidding. So how do we
He's
get
like
PH?
the best. Like everyone here is saying Isaiah is the best dunker all over the world. Like the best.
That's
Let's
cool.
go, baby.
Let's
All of
go.
Asia. Okay, so this was a fun question. Like how popular is okay, before we do this, did you want to start streaming on your platform?
I already have.
Oh, great.
Sweet.
I was like, I don't know what we said off the cusp. How many people are watching your live right now?
200, a little
Okay.
over 200. Yeah.
You have 200 live. That's really impressive.
That was
What's the
actually really
highest
good.
what's the highest count you've ever had?
Um, the one I had with Isaiah, like 4 months ago, we hit 1,200.
That's crazy. That
Wow.
crushes
Yeah.
us. That crushes
Yeah.
us.
That's
How many
wild.
No,
downloads do you think?
it's the population. Like we got a lot of people here.
Because I
Okay,
think
so
even if I were to go on Instagram live, like I would only get probably like 200 people in
yeah.
there.
That's a lot.
So that's
Like for Instagram, that's a lot.
yeah.
So what we need is DillIan. Did I say it right?
Yeah, Douyin. TikTok.
If I butcher my Mandarin, are people watching this just gonna like make fun of me in the comments?
Yeah, like they're crazy about you right now. Like,
That's crazy.
because the way you say
Wait.
Mandarin, it's really fun.
That's so awesome.
Ni hao ma. There we
Ni
go. That's
hao
the best
ma.
I got. All right. So, anyways, since we're streaming now, those of you listening to this on our platform on YouTube or on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, just keep in mind that there are maybe hopefully we'll get to 1,000 people on the other end streaming in
I
Beijing,
hope.
which is
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah. So that said, like I said, I have tons of questions for you. I guess I'll introduce myself because I don't. Did you introduce me on your streaming platform, or should I introduce
Uh,
myself?
yeah, you should introduce yourself. Then I'll speak in Mandarin again.
Oh, perfect. This is even better. So my name is John Evans. I coach Isaiah, and I've been his coach for the last 5 years, Isaiah, or so.
5.5. We started actually it's exactly 5 years, like
Yeah.
today, basically.
Exactly 5 years ago, I started coaching Isaiah and basically took him from crippling knee pain to essentially in a 43, 44-inch vertical to a 50.5-inch vertical. So my specialty is improving vertical leap, and that goes from volleyball to basketball. I've actually started working with a lot of volleyball players recently, specifically 9-man. I get a lot of guys that play 9-man and stuff like that. So I'm just being enriched by Asian culture on all different facets at this point. So yeah, so that's my specialty. I have a degree in sports science, master's degree in sports science, and I've worked in high performance I've been interested or obsessed with training since I was 13. Read my first research article when I was 14 and kind of just took off from there. So I've been entrenched in strength conditioning for a long time, not just dunking, but that's mostly what people know me from. So I guess if you want to say that in Mandarin.
That's a lot. Like,
Yeah, you can just sum it up the way you want to.
yeah. 大家好，这位是 John Evans，他是Isaiah 的教练，然后他已经很多年在做这个提升运动表现吧，然后主要是提升弹跳力，然后他现在是在做这个除了 THP 以外，他还在教一些这个volleyball player，排球，他带很多的排球队在训练啊，提升弹跳力。然后他是这个有运动科学的硕士学位，应该是啊，如果我刚刚没听错的话，所以这个大家如果有什么问题，可以在这个弹幕里边提啊，有什么问题可以来弹幕里边提。
So
And
how
John, real quick, can you name all the pro dunkers you've ever coached or consulted with?
coached or so like we're counting like consulting as they've asked me a question before?
Yeah, like you've helped them in some kind of way with their training.
Okay. So Jay Clark, 2017, 2018, maybe 2018, 2019. Isaiah Yu from 2017 to now. Recently, Tony Crosby, TC2, I think is his Instagram handle. And now it's been 2 or 3 months. Anthony Height, that's been 6 or 7 months. Kilgannon, not really. I don't think I've ever really given him much. We've never really talked too much about training, mostly just life. Let me see what else. Obviously Austin, Burke, Travis Reynolds, Obi Chamberlain.
The guy with 1 foot.
The guy with 1 foot. Oh, what? That's Jordan Sutherland. How could I forget? Jordan Sutherland, B Ruff, Brandon Ruff. Who else is in that mix? There's a lot of guys. Dan Gross. Yep, Dan Gross. Isaiah, you're going to be better at helping me name all these guys. I think
that's a good summary. Best ones, I mean, the guys that people probably know from Dunk League, like Jordan Sutherland.
Oh, Chris John, CJ Champion.
Yeah.
Connor Barth.
Connor
Barth in his prime. Whenever he was right before he switched to work with that one guy who shall not be named and betrayed us. No, I'm kidding. And then, Thomas Johnson. Thomas Johnson's another one. He had a 40 in his vertical. Dom Gonzalez. Dude, there's so many. That's so hard. I don't have like a list.
But basically, Lon, if you want to tell him, he's helped. I would say a very big percentage of a lot of pro dunkers out there. Yeah. He's had his hand in the pro dunking training game for a while.
Some time.
Yeah.
Wait, I have a question for John. Like, were you working with Duke University?
I was, yeah. So I was actually the high jump coach at Duke I coached there for a year. Actually, that was the COVID year. So when COVID happened, I decided to...
Was it 2019?
Yeah, so that was right leading into 2019, 2020. So I started there in the fall of 2019. I just came to visit a coach who followed me on Instagram. And then he was like, hey, we actually have a volunteer position open if you want to take it. And I was like, I'd be more than happy to do that. So I also coached at Altus. I don't know if you're familiar with Altus.
Yeah, Altus.
I didn't coach there. I was like an intern coach there for 4 or 5 months, right before the 2016 games, which is honestly one of the best experiences I've ever had. So yeah, but Duke, that kind of got me into Duke because all the Duke coaches knew Dan Paff. Dan Paff's a legendary track coach. Coach Donovan Bailey, who had the world record in the 100-meter dash at one point, and Greg Rutherford, who was a gold medalist in long jump. So I worked with him, and then essentially, or were underneath them. Then the Duke coaches found that out, knew who I was, asked me to come on board, and I was like, whatever you need. I have a lot of different ways I know how to coach, but if you want me to coach your way, I'll coach your way. I'm just here to honestly have fun. At that point, I didn't really care too much about trying to I didn't really care that much about like making a name for myself as a coach. I at that point I already had, coached Isaiah to like a 48-inch vertical. He had hit kamikaze 360 behind the back between the legs on 9.9, 9.10 now, I think. So I wanted to get experience. So I coached there through the fall. Then COVID happened. We actually won ACCs in high jump indoor that year. So I was coaching the girl that ended up taking first. And then we also took second place. So I coached first the girl for the year before, they didn't score any points in high jump. I think maybe one from the multi. That year they took first, second, and ninth on the women's side. And then on the men's side, I think they might have taken, I don't know if they scored points on the men's side. In the multi, they did though. They ended up scoring points in the multi, and I also worked with the men's multi. So I would say I had like a pretty drastic impact, specifically on like high jump. And I don't want to take all the credit because I didn't write the programming. I was just like, all right, I'm here. My job is try to keep these guys healthy and coach the technical elements. And yeah, it was fun. I liked it a lot. I actually miss coaching collegiately a lot, but with a business and stuff, it's really dicey with the NCAA. So I don't want to play with that. I don't want to mess with that. You know, I never want to get in trouble or anything. So yeah, that was my experience coaching track at Duke and kind of some of the other accolades. I also worked in Olympic weightlifting at an OTC. Our weightlifters are not as good as the Chinese weightlifters. I don't know if you're aware.
Like Chinese weightlifters have the best technique, like all over the world.
I think too, it's like their limb configurations are so freaking perfect for it too. So like, their technique is perfect. Like for their builds, they max out the technique, and then they're just freak athletes, like super powerful. Whereas like, I think other countries don't have favorable builds, like as favorable builds. And then I also don't think that like they master their technique for their build the same way. Like Chinese weightlifters are like, oh, I'm short and stocky, and I have short legs and long torsos. Sick. I'm just gonna like lift perfectly for this. And then they, what is it? Lu Zhong. Wait, how do I? What the 85?
Lu Xiaojun, I think it's his name.
Liu Xiaojun.
Liu Xiaojun. Yeah, he's sick. Yeah, he's a badass. Yeah, I love him.
Yeah,
I have a picture. I have a picture of him. This was, if you scroll all the way down on my Instagram, you can see it. And it's him in like a deep squat. It's like a picture from behind, and I was like, "This is gonna be me one day." I put in there.
You're close.
Yeah, he's crazy. Like he's really, really good.
Have you ever met him?
No, but you know he has a channel on YouTube.
I do. Yeah, is that actually him that runs it, or someone else runs it for him?
No, someone else. So the guy who runs his channel is good friend with me.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's cool.
Does he film all the stuff?
Yeah, the guy who always talking, behind camera. That's the guy. I know.
Is that the hook grip guy or no?
No.
Who is it?
He is now in England, like in UK right now.
Yeah.
He's how do I say this? He loves weightlifting, and he's in good relationship with Liu Xiaojun.
Oh wow,
that's
awesome.
Yeah.
So he's like a celebrity.
He gets to film all the stuff when they train. So he has a lot of footage of like inner people.
That's crazy. That's so cool. I mean, that's like the dream, man. He's so fun to watch lift. All those guys, Tian Tao. I don't know how that's how you say it.
Tian Tao.
I said it right. Hey, let's go.
Yeah, Tian Tao.
So
Tian Tao loves fishing. Like he goes to fish every day. Like when he's not training though.
That is amazing. I love it. Okay, so this is funny because we're like interviewing each other for each other's streaming platforms. This is like so cool. All right, so tell me about like what is your how did you get into performance in like Beijing? Like so you told me this before the podcast. So you were born and raised in Beijing. Beijing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then when did you come to the States, and why did you come to the States?
After my college, like I applied a lot of schools in the United States, and several of them gave me offers. So like I said, I just picked one randomly, like really randomly. Then I went to Long Island for 2 years from 2014 to 2016. And after I graduated, after I get my master's degree, I came back to China. I didn't start as a performance coach or, performance enhancer, but I really liked it. I love performance enhancing, and I'm a really big fan of track and field. Like I'm a basketball player, and my specialty is basketball, but like track is my enthusiasm.
Do you know Su Bing?
Yeah, Su Bing Tian.
Yeah. Do you know him
Randy
personally?
Huntington. That's like my number one idol right now.
I'm speaking with him in April. I'm going to be at a
but
seminar.
I thought he retired, right?
I think he's still speaking. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's on the speakers list. I could be wrong. You want me to double check?
Yeah.
Like, now I'm like, man, maybe I said that. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought it was Randy Huntington, but let me check.
Well, have you ever?
Yeah, I got the book like right on my desk. Have you read this one?
Oh my gosh, yeah, Ralph Mann.
Yeah.
Ralph Mann's the man.
Yeah, he's the man. Like he gave me this autograph. Like
That is epic. Did you go down to SMU and wait, so let me think. There's two. So there's where did you see him? Or not SMU, it's I don't know, where did you see him at?
I haven't met him, but the guy who coaches China team, like China track and field team, is like my great friend. So he
does he hate me? Because I know someone of the Chinese track and field community hates me. There's a couple people that don't like me at all on the Chinese. Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know that.
I don't know who they are, but like they'll randomly
friend,
shit talk me.
Wait, why?
I don't know. I've just like heard of. I like have people send me stuff. It's like written in like Mandarin. I can't read it, but like people will like people.
Do you
from,
still have the picture
of the guy or?
Yeah,
Dude, it was like 2 years ago. He kept telling me, he would like post me on his story and like blast me and be like, look at him, he's bracing so intensely. Like, how could you do that? How can you jump off 1 foot like that? And like, I'd be like, I don't know what he's saying. I don't really care. Like, he has like 1,000 followers and they're all in Beijing. So I don't really care. Or not Beijing, they're in mainland China. I was like, whatever. Like, if he wants to talk shit about me, that's fine. I don't even know what he's saying, honestly. Oh yeah. So Ralph Mann, I'd never actually met Ralph, but I've talked to, so Peter, have you looked at any of Peter Wayan's stuff at all?
No.
You need to look at his stuff, man. It is really, really good. Yeah. Ralph Mann has like a slightly different
how do you spell
model. It's Peter.
Peter.
And then space Wayand is Weyand. And he has like a researcher underneath him. His name's Ken. I think it's Ken Clark. So Peter Wayand and Ken Clark were at SMU. Ken Clark did his PhD underneath Peter Wayand. Peter Wayand studied sprint mechanics at SMU under all those slow-mo videos you see of guys sprinting on the force plates on the treadmill. That's at SMU. Yeah, that's at SMU with Peter Wayand. So he's the one that basically figured out like top end sprinting is like the marginal thing that changes is the like the peak forces at touchdown. Peter Wayand was the one that made that like basically came to that conclusion. I think most of Ralph Mann's research is with 3D motion analysis or 2D motion analysis. He works with like a lot of the US guys directly. So he'll like go film from the side with a laptop, have the force transducers in the blocks, have opta jump, and then look at ground contact times and flight times for a lot of guys. Like he does that still, I think. Actually, I don't know I know he used to, but
can you imagine having something like that for 2 foot jumping?
Oh, it'd be amazing.
I have opta jump. I have opta jump.
Do you know how to do you have force plates embedded underneath it?
Yeah. I have force plate and auto jump. I'm planning to like put them together to do some like research stuff.
Why can't we come to Beijing?
I will literally fly out. We will fly out. So
we will fly.
You didn't know that? I have the best equipment, like everything I have.
In China? You have the best equipment in China or in the world?
Yeah.
Or both?
No, I mean China maybe, yeah.
Do you have
because you know a lot of stuff like you have opto jumps and force plate in research labs, right? But I own them personally, so I just use them whenever I want.
But are they embedded?
What
are they embedded? Are the force plates embedded in the ground?
No, you can move it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like portable dual plate. Yeah.
Does it do horizontal forces or just vertical?
No. I don't have 3D force plate.
Damn. But, so you have Hawkins? Do you have Hawkins?
No, I don't use that. No.
What is yours? What brand is your force plate?
It's a Chinese brand.
Sick.
I know the best is the Kistler, right? Have you ever used Kistler? Yeah.
They're very, very good. There's a couple
expensive.
brands, but
yeah.
Very, very expensive.
Very
like
expensive.
Research labs, when they can get the 3D motion capture with the force plates, that's like the best. And then if you can put EMG with it, like if I had a lab that was like, look, if I had the perfect sports science lab, it would literally be 3D like mocap, infrared, I would have like the most expensive software for it. It's basically what P3 is. And then I would have embedded force plates, but the force plates wouldn't just be one area. I would have a wider plate, and it would be enough for like an actual plant to jump and land on the plate.
Yeah.
And then I would, that would be 3D force plates. So all the vectors, X, Y, and Z. And then I would put portable EMG units as well, so that I could look at what the muscles are doing against the 3D motion analysis. So I'm able to see muscle recruitment across a full 2-foot jump or 1-foot jump, and then compare it across athletes. That would be perfect. However, that's like, let's see, I don't know, $200,000 worth of equipment.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. So plus a facility where you can put them in, like renting, you know what I mean? Like even that as well. So
like
it's
the rent in the United States is pretty cheap compared with the rent in China. Like in Beijing, it's like crazy. The rent is super high, super expensive.
were you here
like
when
almost
when
impossible
the rent is too damn high guy was here?
Yeah, what?
Were you in the US when the rent is too, like the guy that was running for office and his whole thing, like for president, and his whole policy was the rent is too damn high? That was like his platform he was running on.
Wait, I wanna show you some of my equipment. Let me grab my camera.
Also, how do you, okay, so are you gonna have to go back and translate this in like after the fact, or do your viewers just like have to pick it up as they go, or what?
I'm not gonna translate this for them. Like, I mean, it's too much work for me, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Wait 1 second. So to be honest, we're working on a program that might have a chance to invite both of you guys to China this year.
What
this
dates?
summer.
Give us dates.
What?
We just need dates.
We don't have a particular date right now, but I'm working on it. I'm working
Whose
really hard on
Whose
it.
iPhone tried to enter the waiting room?
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, do you want me to admit you?
Yeah, sure.
All right, okay.
Because I want to show you. I want to show you some of my equipment, right?
I was like, we have a rogue attendee.
Wait, hold up. Wait, can you hear me?
I can hear you on your laptop, but not your iPhone, probably.
Wait, hold up.
You might have to mute. You might have to mute your. He can't hear me anymore. He's got the headphones off. Oh, look at that.
Now you can hear me, right?
We can hear you on the mic, but not on the on your phone. Turn your audio on your phone on. It should say join audio on the bottom left, I think. There we go. It's connecting to audio. Yep, we can hear you now.
Is it on right now? Yeah.
It's really no.
Is it on right? Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
There
There's
we
just
go.
a lag between your computer and your phone. It's gonna take like 4 minutes.
Wait, so I'm at my home right now. I'm gonna show you the place where I train.
I'm excited.
Here we go. I don't know if you heard me, but there's a massive lag. So just you have to wait like a solid 4 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Did we lose him?
I don't think so. His camera just might be off.
I think we lost him. So Isaiah,
Can you see me right now?
Oh yeah, now we can. You're back.
So how do I flip my camera? Right.
Like that.
So this is a dual plate, force plate.
Yo, that's crazy. Did you get that from Natera, Alex Natera?
Oh no. This is from China, from a Chinese brand.
Oh no, I'm saying the rig, the ISO pool, the mid thigh ISO pool.
This is custom made. I have another set coming these days.
Oh, that is so epic.
It's up to jump.
Oh my God. How much do you have of OptiJump?
So if the program worked and I have a chance to bring you guys here, I want to test Isaiah's vertical using OptiJump.
I think it's gonna be like, I don't know, I can tell you his flight times.
Yeah.
What's the highest flight
pretty
time you've
low
seen on
compared
OptiJump?
with, if you're using max and reach minus your max like standing reach, this one's gonna upset you.
Yeah, no, yeah, we've seen it many
Yeah.
times. We use the MyJump 2 app, and so the
Mhm.
MyJump 2 app usually puts him around like 0.9. His highest jump is 0.973, like 973 milliseconds, which I think is like what, Isaiah, 115 centimeters.
I like on my jump too.
Yeah,
I can tell you right now.
Isaiah's gonna look, but I think it's like 115 centimeters or something like that. So it equates to, let me see, because obviously it corrects for the length of your foot, and and reach. You know, it's more objective. So 15 divided by.
So, do you think it's possible to get like 1 second? You're in midair.
I think it's possible.
Do you think it's possible, Isaiah?
I think it's possible.
I know it's 120. I think it's 125 centimeters if you get a 1 second flight time, and that would be 49. Isaiah, that's like a 50. That's like a 54-inch vertex touch.
I don't know if it's possible for me, but I think
it's possible for someone.
If Anthony Height trained,
he does. He's been training now. He's been training now.
It might be possible.
It might be possible. I like that.
Yeah, it might be possible.
It was funny. I don't know if you could hear us, but there was a massive lag when you first got on your phone. It was like 4 seconds. So yeah, it took a little bit. But I think Isaiah's flight time, his best flight time is 0.972. I don't know if you heard me say that.
Mm-hmm.
And then that equates to, if it's 115 centimeters, which I think it is, it's either like 43 or 45 inches on the OptiJump is what he would hit, which I don't know. Like, what's the highest you've seen on an approach jump on an OptiJump?
It's 103 centimeters.
That's really impressive. Yeah, 115. There you go.
115.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
240. That's 240 frames per second. From the moment his foot leaves the ground to the moment it touches down. So that's pretty accurate. I think OptiJump is probably measuring at what, like 1,000 hertz or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like crazy
But
high.
the
So
thing
it might
is,
be a little bit lower.
You want to keep like legs really straight when you land on the ground.
That's when he jumps really high. We always look at the configuration and stuff, but if he's trying to touch like 12, if he's trying to touch 12, like 3 or whatever, or 12.5 or whatever he touched, it's like it's like an occupational hazard to land straight.
Yeah.
So like you have to bend your knees like to safely do it. But yeah, you'd probably have to correct for that. So it might be like 43. I don't know.
I was still semi straight when I
he hinges a tiny bit, so the center of mass configuration comes down. I mean, 3D motion capture would be the best way to do it. You know what I mean? That's the most accurate way to do it.
This is my landing configuration on it.
Oh, okay.
So
that's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That was the 50.5.
It's pretty like straight up.
That was my 50.5. Yeah,
that's crazy. You landed that way. It had 0.972.
Back in my glory days.
Your glory days. Back in the day.
Wait, how's your leg right now?
It's progressing a lot faster than I thought it was going to be.
How do you injured it? How did you injure it?
So it's an injury that I've been going through for like 3 years. I just never let it heal completely. Like I rehab it to the point where I'm good. It's good enough to jump on and train, but I never like take that extra like care to get rid of it. And this last dunk show, I was jumping with, it was me, Kilgannon, Jay Clark, and 1 Foot God. And normally when we start the dunk shows, we're like doing warm-up jumps, taking baby jumps, like low effort dunks, rim grazers, one-hander, two-handers, that type of thing.
Easy stuff.
Yeah.
So
we're doing like light dunks, and then Kilgannon, second jump of the day, head at rim windmill. Like he's like right here over the rim. Boom. Everybody else is still warming up. We're like, what the hell? His next jump, he goes for hide and seek, back rims it. And we're like, okay, I guess we're starting the show. So everybody we all just started jumping as hard as we could. And I wasn't warmed up yet. And this is Utah. So it's super, super cold. It was like 10 in the morning. And I just started jumping hard way before I was warmed up, and I was feeling pain in my leg. And I would say probably like 15, 20 minutes in, I went for a crown, which is like a reverse double elbow. And I just felt like my leg, like I literally felt something in my leg. Like it was like a popping or pulling sensation in my leg on the takeoff. And then I landed, and it was the most intense pain I had ever gone through. Like literally for like
Did you hear
minutes.
it pop?
I didn't hear it. I just felt it.
You just felt it. Just felt it rupture.
Yeah, so I felt it, and then I went in the back, and I was like, yeah, there's no way I'm gonna be able to dunk. And that whole day, like I could barely walk, could not bend my leg at all. And yeah, so I haven't really been able to do much. After that, John took a look at it. Most likely it was IT band, like the proximal end of the IT band. I haven't formally got it diagnosed by a doctor, a physician, mainly because I have terrible experiences with doctors and stuff like that.
I mean, the other thing is like, what are they going to tell you?
Yeah.
Just rest for a couple of days, right?
Yeah, they're going to be like,
here's some ibuprofen.
Yeah,
don't
they're
jump.
Gonna be like, oh, let's send you to
Don't
PT.
jump, yeah.
You're going to be like, no, I got a guy for that.
Last time,
it was like we know how to fix it.
Yeah, last time I went to a hospital for an injury. I think I had like fallen on my wrist, and it was like hurt or something like that. Literally, they gave me an X-ray. I already knew it was not broken. I just couldn't move it, but I knew it wasn't broken. They gave me an X-ray, and then they literally just gave me ibuprofen, but like stronger. But it was literally ibuprofen, and my hospital bill ended up being
what is
ibuprofen? Is like an anti-inflammatory.
Advil.
Like a medicine.
Yeah. So they literally just gave me the medicine, and it ended up being like $500 when I could have just stayed at home, took the medicine myself. I could have went to a store and bought it. I already knew it was not broken. And after that, I was like, yo, these people do not know what they're doing. The time before that, I had tendinopathy. And then I went there, again, x-rays for my tendinopathy, which is stupid. And then they told me not to jump.
Yeah, you should MRI. Should use MRI.
Yeah. So just, I don't know. My experiences with doctors, at least here in the States, has not been very good. And that's why I have John as my primary
care physician. I'm like, yeah, you might want to get an MRI on that. Like, just forego everything else. Just make a schedule an appointment with an orthopedic surgeon and see if they'll do it, or like at the hospital or whatever with that X-ray or MRI tech.
But it's been 1 week, and today I can squat the bar, like ass to grass with no pain. I can lunge with minimal pain, so it's progressing really quickly. So hopefully I'm not out for too long. I would guess like a month or two.
Isaiah, I forgot to tell you this. Guess who called me today and said they hurt their IT band?
Who?
Tony Crosby.
Wow.
He texted me, he's like, hey man, I just felt a snapping sensation in my IT band. And I was like, you're shitting me. And I was like, literally a week after, I've never heard of an IT band injury, maybe like a few times in the lore of dunking. And now his was lower though. His was like a few inches.
Well, for me, I've never seen anybody injure their IT bands.
Loon.
You don't know enough guys with a 50-inch vertical. That's why.
So this is something really interesting that me and John were talking about. So the most common injury for jumping athletes is tendinopathy, right? Like knee pain, like jumper's knee, that type of thing. We're at a point, I mean, I haven't dealt with like traditional jumper's knee in like years now. Like we've basically completely gotten rid of it. But I've been getting lateral like leg pain ever since I got to the 48-inch vertical mark. Then we go to dunk camp. We never hear anybody having those type of issues. We go to dunk camp. The only other guy who had tested a 50, Chris Bell, he mentions having lateral like leg pain. Then the third guy that we ever talked to that has an official 50 tested Dak. What's it? Darius Clark. Darius Clark.
Yeah, he runs track, right?
Yeah. So Darius
triple
Clark,
jumper, I thought.
Yep,
long jump.
So we talked to him, and he has lateral leg pain. So the only officially tested 50-inch vertical, like the guys with 50-inch verticals have all had the same pain, like the lateral leg/hip pain.
Look, all I'm saying is you heard it here first. The VMO is not the key to jumping higher in healthy knees. Okay. The vastus lateralis is the key to jumping higher in healthy knees. All right. You heard it here first. Because every single person that has healthy knees hurts their vastus lateralis or their hips. I'm sorry. So, the key to a 50-inch vertical is your vastus lateralis and healthy knees, because they all have healthy knees, just not healthy hips.
We joke around with it, and it's like levels in a video game, right? So people usually get obsessed with jumping, right? And the number one thing to do is jump a lot. You want to just put in a ton of reps, dunk as much as you can. That's level one. Level two is knee pain pops up. Okay. Yeah. So now you have to beat the knee pain level. Then after you beat the knee pain level, that's when you can kind of get into the upper 40s of vertical as level 3. And then level 4, we're coming to find out, is the hip pain / vastus lateralis.
Right. Yeah. It's like once you pass one level, you just get to the next level of injuries. Back pain's in there somewhere. Did you mention back pain? I was fixing the rug.
Oh yeah, back pain is just all throughout that. That's if you squat heavy.
That process is just littered with back pain injuries. So it's kind of funny. But lunch.
I don't think athlete or I'm sorry, not athlete, dunkers. I don't think a lot of dunkers train their hip enough. I think they should focus on hip training, like internal rotation, external rotation, adduction, abduction, because not a lot of people work on that. That's where they get their pain.
Right. Isaiah and I have done quite a bit with actually playing around with that stuff, like especially when he was here in, what was that, Isaiah, 2022? Leading
2021.
Dunk camp.
2021.
Yeah, leading into dunk camp though. You were here for a bit, right?
Yes, I was.
Yeah. So I had a cycle where I actually had him do a lot of banded internal rotation, and we don't do too much adduction because obviously you get adduction when you squat, like a lot of adduction. And so it was like, okay, well, and you get abduction too, but I'll do it quite a bit in the circuits and stuff like that, just because it is that we do. I think that's probably where we differ from a lot of other people, is that we have a lot of circuits that are built for like accessory work and stuff. And Isaiah has like a really, really good base in that. But when these weird like things pop up, like I've noticed with his IT band, like abduction has been super, super valuable. Doing a lot of abduction. Obviously, we do tons of extension. We don't do very much flexion training, like at all, outside of the sprinting when it's in the programming and just jumping. But part of that is that there's not really much that indicates that, the hip flexors are a key performance indicator for jumping. I think for sprinting, there's more and more research coming out that the hip flexors are a little bit more important than we thought. But it's not like you can have amazing hip flexors, but if you have shitty hip extensors, you're not going to be able to, pop off the ground or anything like that. So I think more sprint coaches have started adding in, hip flexor strengthening exercises, but for dunking, it's like that lateral, force generation, the ability to handle the torque that happens through like the whip and flow mechanism of the pelvis, because your foot hits and then the other side whips around and block foot hits. It's like, to be able to handle that, you have to have very, very strong hip rotators. And I actually very much agree. I think that it is kind of like a misunderstood or probably like, I don't want to say misdiagnosed. It's not the right word. Like underaddressed issue. I periodically have played with it myself. I play with it with a few athletes. I haven't noticed anything drastic happen, after putting it in for a certain cycle, but maybe that's just because jumping itself is such a strong stimulus for training it, what I mean? Where it's like, maybe this is a value, but we're not really spending too much time here. Whereas like we've noticed that our time spent on other things like power clean and squat and stuff like that are super valuable. That stuff, not one-to-one impacts his vertical, but it directly impacts it. There's a significant difference when his power clean and squat go up. Whether or not his vertical goes up when he does better in hip flexion exercises is kind of debatable, I would say. So, but Lunchen, I have a question for you because I haven't got to ask you any questions, and technically you're on our podcast, but now it's like we're on your podcast. Okay. So how do you know a lot of the professional dunkers in China?
Yeah, I know.
You do. Okay. So who is probably the most talented Chinese, 2 or 3 talented Chinese dunkers? Who are they?
I think for now, the best is a friend of mine also. He is called Li Hexu. I don't know
Does
if
he have
you
Instagram?
ever. I think his Instagram is like Dunk Li, like
Dunk
Dunk
Lee,
space
that's it?
Li. Yeah.
Okay, so when are we going to get in a podcast with him and you? And you can translate.
I don't know. I'll see if he has the time. I'll ask
Dunk
him.
Lee, is that it? Is there a
Dunk.
space or
Yeah.
anything?
I think there's like a dash. If you
I can't find
let me
it.
see.
I see slam dunk leads, but that's not it. Leet? Is it Leet?
No, it's L1. Dunk. Like this one.
You got to pull it back a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit more. A little bit more. It's still not focusing. How do you spell it?
Oh. There we go. Dunk_L1.
Yeah. Dunk.
Okay, so he's probably the best.
I think he is the best. Yeah.
Okay, do you write his training?
No.
Who's his coach?
He's a born athlete. He is a born athlete.
Does he train?
Yeah, a lot.
He does? Okay.
But I don't think
scoop.
his training is like his training could be better. That's what I'm saying.
What do you think is like better yet, what are some of his like numbers in the weight room? Do you know? Like what is squat or power clean?
I think he can squat 170 kg. That's like 380.
Ass to grass or
Nah, like parallel.
okay. Do most dunkers squat to parallel or ass to grass there?
I think that the only way they can squat ass to grass is they levitate their heels. Right. They put a plate or the stuff.
Wedge or something like that?
Yeah. That's the only way they could squat ass to grass.
Are their ankles just
I don't,
super tight?
Yeah. Because a lot of dunkers in China run tracks. You know how track and field athletes are really stiff.
Oh,
like
and
they
their
have
ankles?
poor
Yeah.
ankles. Yeah.
It's incredible. I love it. Me too.
Is that how most of the pro dunkers got into dunking? Like, was it an offshoot from track and field?
Yeah. A lot of dunkers in China run tracks.
Like also
they don't
also
really
track.
play basketball, but they run tracks.
It's like here.
But
The
it's the same
dunkers,
thing?
well, sort of. Like the dunkers, I mean, some of the really talented guys were track and played basketball casually. But then, like, maybe they didn't have the handles or the IQ, but they're just freak athletes and they like dunking more. You know what I mean? So it's like, why the hell would I practice shooting a basketball if I just would rather dunk or run track or be better at both? Compared to like how I am at basketball. Maybe they'd be great basketball players, but there's so much more to basketball than just being athletic. So I think it's like common for guys to, not go the full basketball route because you just have to be so skilled, to be able to do that. You're not only like, if you're going that route, you don't only like, not only do you have to beat all the genetic freaks that are 6'10" or 6'8", you got to beat all those guys that are your height who maybe aren't as athletic as you, but can shoot the shit out of the ball, or have crazy IQ or like have some other, characteristic that will make them successful in basketball. So I think like dunking is its kind of unique niche where you get to play basketball. You can be a really high level rec basketball player. You get to do it for fun or occasionally do it, for what 99% of the people that like basketball do, which is just playing it recreationally or occasionally, you know what I mean? Or whatever, like you're basically the Zion Williamson of like that. So it's like, it's like, why else would you, like what, like that's a good outcome. Like be the rec league Michael Jordan. And so like it's fun, and then you also get to post a lot, and then you do get those opportunities where you, like if you're Isaiah, you get opportunities where you get to go to OT and play against some of the best high school players in the world, or you get to go, I don't know, meet NBA players or do whatever All-Star weekend when he goes, or visits like halftime shows or the Kings fan fest. So I think it's like a good in between. But I don't know, Isaiah, would you rather play like at this point, would you have rather just gone all basketball, like when you had like a 40-inch vertical, or are you glad that you decided to go into dunking?
I was actually thinking about that a lot when I was at All-Star weekend. I was like, damn, it would have been fun to be an all-star. Like,
In All-Star, not only are you there, you're an
yeah,
All-Star.
I don't think
Yeah.
the thing is I've had this desire with literally anything I do. Like, even take video games and Call of Duty, right? When I first started playing, I was like, I need to be the best. Like, I got to be the best in the world at this. Or if I go freaking like bowling, if I go bowling and I suck, I will literally get an obsession. I will start Googling how to bowl. Like, I will start like looking up techniques and stuff like that. Like, I have this weird obsession to just beat everybody at everything,
Yeah.
at everything I do. So like, to be a basketball player, like I wouldn't have liked to just be in the NBA. Like, I think it would have been awesome to be like an all-star, like one of the best basketball players in the NBA. But if that wasn't the case, I would have rather been in the position I'm at with dunking.
So you would have been like a bouncy NBA player is like not as valuable as having the highest vertical in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think Lunchen, do you think Isaiah has the highest vertical in the world?
To be honest, no.
Who do you think's higher?
I think there's always someone. Just
Who that?
we just not. I don't know, but
so
someone.
you think there's like somebody out there?
Yeah, somebody. Yeah. I think.
To be fair, I feel the same way. I feel the same
Really?
way about that. Yeah,
because Isaiah is how do I say this? I think somebody can beat Isaiah on a like a vertical test, but probably he is shorter than Isaiah.
Oh, you're saying he could touch higher. You're saying he could.
Yeah,
You're saying the person could touch higher, but he's shorter.
Yeah.
No,
He has a higher vertical, but he's shorter.
Higher vertical, higher vertical.
Yeah.
But he's shorter.
Yeah.
So you don't think he's known because he can't dunk as well?
No.
I
don't think there's someone. There should be someone.
I feel
there's got to be someone who can jump higher.
I feel the same way. Just from people I've seen in person, like to this day, the freakiest jumping I've seen in person, and for some reason, guys always turn up. Like, I've seen some of the freakiest jump performances ever. Purely like for some reason, guys just jump really high when they're around me. Like when I go to like an event or something like that, like I just but Anthony Height was probably the most impressive person I've seen. It was at Venice Beach, and he was doing the bell touch, which at Venice Beach is super inaccurate because they don't hold it straight or like whatever. Yeah. But just seeing like that day, I think he touched close to 12. Like, and he's 5'6".
So
that's crazy.
I'm still a skeptic. And the reason why is because I've never seen anyone get as close to you in terms of flight time. And I think that argument is flawed because you could make that argument for anything. You could be like, there's a better basketball player than Michael Jordan out there, but he's just on the street somewhere playing in Rucker Park. Like, he's better than Michael Jordan.
I don't think there's anybody who's better than Michael Jordan
because he never no one ever knew about him. Michael Jordan wasn't the best. Like Earl Manigault was the best that never was. So I think it's like a flawed argument. You know what I mean? To me, it's like you could again, I could say that for sprinters. It could be like, oh, dude, there's some guy in Africa, I freaking know it, or Jamaica out there who's faster than Usain Bolt.
That's
but he
impossible,
decided that he decided he was gonna end up being a fisherman instead of sprinting. And so we'll never know how fast he was because he never ended up sprinting. And it's like, I don't know. I just can't I can't get behind it because it's like you could I think it's just like
a counter also a counterpoint to a counter to what I was saying, I guess, an argument for me being the highest.
Devil's advocate for or against your initial point.
Is that day. So my peak fluctuates a lot. I basically have an average level of jumping and dunking, and then I have these random peak days. They come twice a year, 2 or 3 times a year, where I've had 3 months of training. I've done the strength cycles, hypertrophy cycles, peaked perfectly. I'm usually doing a little bit of power work. I'm completely healthy, and my vertical is just skyrockets. Seeing how I jump on those days, it's very hard for me to fathom someone beating that, because like take me at dunk camp, I would have felt like I could just jump higher than everybody on the planet like that week. My mindset's different now because it's been a while since I've hit that. Like I've been like an inch or two off of that. And like my confidence level goes down with it. But like just thinking how high I was jumping on that day, like that would be very, very difficult to beat. But
I will say, I thought you were approaching that at dunk camp when you were warming up and I was talking to you.
I know, bro. I know. I felt it. John's talking about the day I got hurt. I was warming up, man, and I think it would have been one of my best days ever. But
it was I think the reason he tweaked his IT band, partially tore it, whatever we want to call it. I don't think you're in that much pain unless you partially tear it, honestly, because I've never seen Isaiah in that much pain in my entire life. I don't think I've ever seen anyone that had tendon pain. I've seen people tear their Achilles, like literally on the track running, fat guy on the track, tears his Achilles and was in like about as much pain as Isaiah was. So I was really freaking nervous because like I walked over and Isaiah's pretty tough, right? I've like, you know, this kid, he's literally gotten punched in the face by his friends sometimes for fun and laughs it off. Don't ask me why, but that happens. And I've put him through grueling workouts, whatever else. Like that's his life is just suffering. So he literally lands and I see him grimace and I'm like, oh, that's not right. And the way he limped off and laid down on the bench and was just like hands on his face, like breathing intensely, like, oh, like I can't, like it hurts so bad. I was like, oh shit, this is pretty bad. I think the reason that happened is because his output was going to be at that within that 1% day that he has. And, you know, it's like, if you're trying to tap into that when you're not fully warm, your hip's not fully compliant, you're having that, like Isaiah said, you have a little bit of an injury or something that becomes a bigger issue on the day. It's like, you know, that was the result. So it sucks. And I think too, it's like, well, why didn't you guys see this coming or no? It's like, we did. Like, we did everything.
I was literally
correctly.
I was so stupid. There were some jumps where I was fighting off limping. Like I wanted to limp and I was like, nope, just like walk normal. And then that jump happened. So it was 100% preventable, but it happens. Part of the game.
So was it before you hit all those dunks or after?
After. So the dunks that I've been posting were all leading up to that. So I was warming up, like all those dunks that I do, 360 behind the back, my East Bay, behind the back over somebody. Like that was probably like 15-20 minutes in. And then I tried crown. So anytime I do reverse jump, it like hurts more just because of it's more compressive. It's more compressive forces. And yeah, I tried crown once. That's when I was like limping. I was like, ooh, like this feels kind of bad. Second attempt at crown, that's when I felt the pop, and yeah,
it was bad.
But, so how many you could have jumped higher that day, right?
It's possible.
Yes, it's possible.
Very possible.
That's what we're saying. Like we
very
think
accuracy.
that's like the same, you know, kind of like counter argument. It's like maybe he would have jumped a second in the air that day. We don't know. He was ready.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah. So it was it sucked, but it's like one of those things where, you know, coming back from it, I think it will make a cool story. And then on top of that, like it is a learning experience. You know, I don't think anyone has had this problem to this degree in 2-foot jumping. People don't even know this is a thing. It's so new, and maybe it gives us more insight to what's actually dictating success in 2-foot jumping. You know what I mean? It's like kind of a clue, and you know, success leaves clues, right, Isaiah?
Yep. I actually, every single injury that I've ever had, I actually feel extremely blessed to have gone through the injuries, because one, it just teaches me more about my body and how to train properly, and then two, it's made me a better coach. Like I wouldn't be at the level I'm at with coaching guys through knee pain if I hadn't gone through knee pain. I wouldn't be at the level I'm at with coaching back pain if I hadn't gone through back pain. So I see this as just like, it's going to make me a better athlete and a coach. And I'm actually happy. So like when I was younger, so I started getting knee pain when I was 14. So from age 14 to 21, basically had crippling knee pain. And that's normally the age where guys are healthy, right? That's the age where you can go outside and jump as hard as you can and not worry, and then go back the next day and jump as hard as you can and not worry about any injuries. Because of having gone through that at a young age, I learned to warm up properly, to train properly, to go through load management and that type of training. And it's made me, I feel like it's given me a lot more longevity in dunking than what is typically seen from guys. Because what I see a lot is you'll have a freak athlete, right? The guys who are born being able to jump high, and they go all their lives up until their late 20s being able to dunk, right? And this is like 90% of pro dunkers. Then they go through an injury in their late 20s, early 30s, and that becomes the end of their career because they don't know how to deal with it. Versus now, like, I'm just like, I know how to take care of injuries at this point. So yeah, I just know I'm gonna be back and I'm gonna be like stronger than I was before. So yeah, I see them all.
You have been through that.
Yeah, we've been. I've been
through a lot.
Yeah, I've had terrible ankle sprains where I was out for like 2-3 months. Quad pulls. The third year that I was training with John, I had really, really bad quad pulls, and that affected me for probably like 4 or 5 months. So this isn't my first rodeo. Like
what was up with your foot? I forget. It was I can't remember what it was.
You
couldn't pronate.
That was the ankle injury. So
that is the ankle injury you're talking about?
Yeah, I hurt my ankle like really bad. Like it was a terrible ankle sprain. In Australia, landed on a ball. And then a fat kid.
How did it happen?
A fat kid. So I was in Australia.
Fat kid.
I was gonna do a dunk contest against Jordan Kilgannon and Guy Dupuis. This is right before quarantine. This was like February 2020. I'm jumping super high. This is my moment to beat Jordan Kilgannon and Guy Dupuis in a contest. Those are like my idols, right? And we were doing dunk sessions, and I was just part of my leg winch, but I was fucking them up all week, like doing sessions. And then the last day that I'm there, we're warming up for a contest. There's the main court, and then there's like a side court, that sport court. And we're warming up, and I do a dunk. Ball rolls on the floor. I land right on the ball, and my ankle just boop, boop. Just terrible ankle sprain.
What are the odds of that?
Yeah.
We don't like to think about it.
Which John, by the way, that ankle sprain in terms of pain might have been worse. Like thinking about how much it hurt at the time, like it was more this pain that I went through lasted longer, like the pain lasted longer, but this one was like just acute. It was like a very acute.
Like you thought pain. You broke shit in your ankle.
Yeah. It was, that one was bad. So then I'm watching the dunk contest, right? I have my legs like propped up. I'm sitting on the ground. I got ice on it. This fat kid comes running along, trips, and falls right on my ankle again. And so that was not good. And then the recovery for that, like the swelling went down. We did all the rehab, but I ended up having Achilles issues. And what's the ligament that runs on the inside of the foot?
Oh, I know. I can't. It wasn't your plantar fascia, was it?
No. It wasn't my plantar fascia.
I don't remember what it was. I can't remember what it was that you had.
But basically, I had problems with like internal rotation and pronation for a while. Like that was a few months that I had to deal with that.
That one sucked. And he was emotionally going through it. So not only could he not dunk, but emotionally he's struggling, and his ankle is just fucked.
Yeah.
It was a rough time.
But
I had a question.
I did get really high quality training.
You did get really high quality training. I think that training is what set you up to hit 50 for the next, I think it set the groundwork. It laid the groundwork for it, I think. Yeah. Like you got so much stronger during that period. Yeah.
I couldn't jump, but I could lift. So my training was just perfect.
That's also when he got the TFL issue during that period. Okay, so I had a question for you, Lan Chen. What is so Chenzing? I don't know how you say it.
Mm-hmm.
XIN.
Yeah.
So the guy that jumps off one, that said he had like a 52-inch vertical. What do you think his actual vertical is? And just tell me a little bit about him. He is so interesting to me. A super interesting athlete to me.
Because he's older too, right?
Yeah. He's older than us.
I think he's 36.
Yeah, I think he's 36.
Wow.
He was a long jumper from track and field. Yeah.
Really? What was his best
Yeah.
long jump?
I didn't know. I don't know.
We need you to
I
find
don't
out.
know him that well.
Why not?
To be honest, I don't know him that well. But he's a great athlete. He's a freak athlete. The point is, I always convince myself that seeing is believing. I've never seen a 52 vertical, with my eyes. So seeing is believing. That's what I'm saying.
So then, what in terms of like his training? Do you know anything about his training or anything?
No, not really. I'm
He's
not
just
that
like
familiar with him. Yeah.
he's just like this. He is like an anomaly. No one knows it. Does he try to keep it secretive? His training?
No, I don't think so.
Where can we find his training? Where can I study his training?
From DillIan, from DillIan,
From
probably.
DillIan?
Yeah.
I don't have DillIan. I have TikTok.
Yeah.
How do I get DillIan?
To be honest, I don't know. I don't know. Because
I need
if
a
you
Chinese
download,
cell phone.
if you search for DillIan in United States, you get TikTok.
Yeah,
And
it
if I
sucks.
search TikTok in China, I found DillIan. But these two are different. They're not on the same platform.
It's not fair. I want
Yeah.
DillIan so I can watch my guy Chen.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
so
just,
then
like I said, I don't know him that well, so I don't know anything about his training. But I know he can lift heavy. He can lift heavy.
yeah, I've heard he's very strong in like hex bar deadlift and stuff, and
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
regular deadlift, and he's very light. He's like super light. I think he weighs like
Yeah.
70 kilos or something like that, maybe less.
Less, yeah.
60? Is he 60?
60 something kilos.
What?
Yeah,
I
he's
think so.
so skinny. Isaiah,
Yeah,
he is like
yeah.
he's built like you know when Goku goes like in Super when he turns into God mode and he's just like skinnier and faster with the red hair. That's like what he looks like. Like,
That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
light. That is so
Yeah.
light.
he flies,
Because
but he's
I don't
strong,
think you
too.
have to be strong in dunking. Like you don't have to be heavy in dunking.
No,
but
no, you want to be light.
basketball, you have because basketball is a contact sport, so you got to be
Yeah.
really big to play basketball. But dunking is a non-contact sport, so you don't have to be heavy.
Yeah, and he is. I think Isaiah and I we lack the discipline necessary to get to the level of skinniness that would
Mhm.
be required. Like
So
he would go
how
crazy.
heavy are you right now, Isaiah?
I'm one. I think I'm a little lighter now, but last time I weighed myself, I was 185. So that's
Mhm.
84 kilos.
Okay.
Yeah. That's really, really heavy for me. I think when I tested 50, I was 181. I
Mhm.
was probably is that 82 kilos, I think?
What was it?
181.
180.
Oh yeah. You were light.
Yeah, 82,
Like-
82 kilos.
Yeah. What is in terms of like the freakiest athlete you've ever seen? Lun Chen. Who was the freakiest athlete you've ever seen?
In terms of dunking or track or basketball?
Either or, but one for each. One for each. That we wouldn't know.
In terms of jumping, I've shown Isaiah the footage of the guy dunk like 4 months ago. Wait, let me search it for you. He's the guy who tested 103 centimeters on opto jump. This guy, I don't know if you can see it. Hey, let me so this one is
Jeez.
It-
Is that with off the jump?
yeah. See, there's a footage right here.
Wow. Did he
So
have an
it's
approach into
103.
it?
Yeah.
Okay.
The flight time was 0917.
Wow.
That's actually really solid.
That's
Yeah.
really impressive. What
right here.
in terms of
917.
in terms of his strength levels, where was he at?
He can clean 130 kilo.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So
that's
that's
like
286.
290. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Did we both
And
say it at the same time, Isaiah? 286? We did. Wow,
yeah, 286.
that's why. What's he weigh?
73 kilos, 75
So he's
kilos.
light. He's like
Yeah.
169, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
That's
And
like
he can
Isaiah.
squat.
How tall
I
is
think he can squat 160, 170 kilo. I think.
He looks like he's my build, like my height, right? Like 6 foot,
Yeah, 6 foot.
183 ish,
Yeah.
185.
Mhm.
Yeah, he
Mhm.
looks like he's my build, but like 5 kilos.
He runs
lighter.
tracks too. He
What's
runs
he do?
100 meter.
Well, how fast is he?
10 second, 10.8, 10.7, I think.
You know what's crazy? We did a podcast
Uh-huh.
today with a guy named Daniel Bramble. I don't know if you saw
Mhm.
me post it. He runs a 10.8, long jumps 8.25, and he was like, I think I want to get into dunking too. It looks like fun. We were
Yeah.
like, yeah, you
Well,
should. You should do that.
He does long jump too.
This guy, the guy we interviewed today, yeah, he was a 10.8 sprinter, but he could probably have run faster. He had hit 11 meters per second in his like 10-meter fly, which is pretty. Like you could probably run 10, I don't know, between 10.5 and 10.7, I think, if you can hit that max velocity, if you can hold it. I mean, depending on what type of sprinter you are, but I mean,
Yeah.
he could run down there in the 100 if he developed that quality. And he long jumped 8.21. Yeah. So
8.21.
that's 20, almost
That's
27
really
feet.
good. Yeah.
27 feet. That's like crazy. And
That's
he was
world
like,
class.
yes, he was. He was like on that stage. He's like one of the, British athletics best long jumpers when he was competing. And he had an ankle injury from taking off and he broke his ankle and he was like, yeah, I think I'm just gonna like give this up for like he tried for a year and 2 years and was kind of like, okay, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. Which like, respect to him for sticking it out that long, trying to make a comeback from that because it was a brutal injury. But okay, so other questions I have. Who was the most impressive non-dunking athlete you'd ever seen? Or basketball athlete you'd seen?
I've worked with a lot of professional basketball players, like CBA players. They are like crazy. They have like super high basketball IQs. Maybe they're not athletic, like dunkers or track and fielders, but they're smart. They play smart and they know how to handle the ball. So I think basketball is a really interesting sport because you don't have to run fast or jump that high to play basketball. Like your gauge, right? Like your gauge, like
Luka.
Doncic. Yeah, Luka Doncic. They're not that fast and they don't jump high, but they're really,
big.
really good at basketball. Yeah, they're huge. Like so basketball is really interesting.
Yeah, I think the IQ thing is a really, really good point. Is like, and I've always said that, the ability to see the court, like you have eyes in the back of your head is, that's really what crazy. I think it makes you super talented. Have you ever heard of Pat Dickert? Do you know who Pat Dickert is?
No.
He dunked from the free throw line. He lived in China for like a year or two and did basketball camps all around China.
Pat Dickert?
Dickert. Dickert.
Dickert.
Yeah.
Oh, he a white guy, right?
Yeah.
I've heard of him.
He's like very popular in China, to my understanding. Probably on Douyin. He's probably really popular on Douyin. I'm pretty sure. Like more popular on Douyin than he is on TikTok or Instagram in the US. But now he plays in Norway now. He dunked from the free throw line and he's 6 foot.
John, are you able to share screen? Like give me share screen?
Can I give you that option?
Yeah.
I don't know. Offer to
you have to go to privacy or security or something like that.
I have security. Here we go. Enable waiting room. Share screen.
Yep.
There we go.
Sweet.
Yeah, Lun Chen, you should share your screen and show us. I don't know if you're allowed to do that, but
yeah, this is him.
Oh, that's Pat Decker.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen him.
Did you meet him? You ever meet him?
Nah, not in person. Not in person, no.
No, he's a good dude. He brought up there's a speed jumper in China who is unbelievable. Have you ever heard of like underground? Isaiah, what's it called? Underground.
Underdogs.
Underdogs, right? Underdog.
Yeah. They're like a basketball. It's like a basketball tournament thing or something like that.
Yeah.
And
it's a 1-on-1 tournament.
No, it's dunking or it's like China dunking or dunking in China or something like that, or like there's like an Instagram account where it's like all the best Chinese dunkers and stuff like that. I don't know if it's like
on
I think
Instagram?
it's Kings of Underground. They post a lot of the dunkers from China.
was it made in China? Is that what it was? There was another account, Isaiah, that used to post a lot of Chinese dunkers. It was like Mick Dunks, I think is what it was called.
Mick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this right here. Oh wait, sorry. Hold on. Let's see if my expensive camera can focus on that. Can you read it?
Oh, MIC.
Yeah.
MIC.
Look that up. Tell me if you know any of these guys.
Dunk.
They don't post anymore.
Mick Dunk. Yeah, I remember that page.
Yeah. Yeah, they stopped posting. The latest one is from 2020.
Yeah. Have you ever seen any of these guys?
Yeah, I've seen some of them.
Who's the guy in the first clip that jumps over the car, that windmills over the car? Who is that?
His name is Yi Jinhong.
How do you spell that?
I don't think he has any accounts overseas.
Is he really popular?
Yeah, he's really popular. I know he's good.
So
He run tracks too.
what's he doing track? High jump?
200 and 400, I think.
What are his times?
I don't know. But I can ask for you.
Yeah,
right
if
now.
you can find out, I'm so curious. I want to talk to him. He seems like he's a speed jumper and he's just so freaky.
Yeah.
Like him and
Wait,
is he
let me ask right now. I can get answers right now.
That is
李
incredible.
金红400还是200，他能跑多少？
He's talking to this guy right here.
I think he's talking to someone that knows him.
Yeah. He's a good friend.
His girlfriend?
No,
No,
he's friend.
good
He's friend. Yeah,
Oh,
he's good
I
friend.
was like,
yeah.
dude, why are you voice messaging his girlfriend?
That's just weird. That's super weird.
Yeah, I was like, he's gonna kill you.
Yeah.
Okay, so and then Isaiah, what was who was the other guy you were friends with, Lan Chen? Really good friends with. That's like that did the float dunk. I think he's the guy that did the scoop from the free throw line.
That's the guy I just
Lead
showed
dunks,
you.
dunk leads, dunk
yeah,
L1. Isaiah,
dunk
look
lead.
him up real
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah.
Li Hexu. Yeah, he lives in Beijing too.
Really? Do
Yeah.
you train him as well?
No.
You don't train him? Who's his coach?
Oh, this is TikTok.
I don't know his coach though. But
he's just an anomaly.
Yeah. Yeah, that one. Li Hexu. I think he's the best right now in China.
Wow. Is that a 10-foot rim? Is that a 10-foot rim?
Oh, this one is.
Yeah.
That was actually a crazy attempt.
Yeah.
This is definitely a podcast you have to watch. I don't even know if I'm going to upload it
my
onto the streaming platforms.
God.
He's nasty at scoops, dude.
Yo,
He is
Yeah.
so nasty.
I just got a crazy idea.
Don't do it.
Imagine this with double elbow.
That's like what
Is
what
that even
Kilgannon
possible?
tried, but then Kilgannon
That's definitely
died.
possible. Yeah, you put me on that rim, I'll pull it off.
What height is that rim there?
Which
9'8"?
one?
That one.
That one I don't know, but I don't think it's 10. I don't think it's 10.
Isaiah, how high you think that rim is?
Oh, that's the which one? This one?
The one that
This one's a
you
low
put me
one.
on that rim.
That one I feel like that other one's probably 9'8".
Oh, that was nice. Yo, his technique
He's nasty.
His technique is perfect off 2 feet. Is he?
Yeah.
You said he's a track guy too?
Yeah. He was a long jumper.
Do they still compete or no?
No.
Yo. He is
That's
nasty.
just crazy, right? That's just crazy.
Like look at his
Oh
feet.
my
Look at his feet
God.
off the ground.
Dude, I wish you would do stuff like that, Isaiah. Why don't you try stuff like that?
Bro, there's so many dunks. Like I literally go into sessions and I just like get lost. I'm like, I don't know what to do.
So, Lun Chen, most of these guys, I don't know if you answered this question. Do they train like professional athletes, or do they just kind of like dunk recreationally? Do they play basketball? Like what is their lifestyle like?
It's just dunking. They don't really play basketball. They just dunk.
Do they do a lot of events in China?
Oh yeah.
Really?
So
like
actually,
shows,
dunking is more popular in China than it is in United States.
Isaiah, we've been saying this. We have been saying this for ages. We're like, if only we could coach Chinese athletes. We just need to learn. It's an easy thing to do. All we have to do is learn Mandarin and how to read.
That's the hardest one. That's the hardest.
What are you talking about? It's not even that. No, I'm kidding.
How big? So when you say it's big in China, like how big is it?
Like how many people are still watching this?
600. Yeah.
And you're not even speaking Mandarin like to it. You're not even translating.
Yeah. To be fair, if we are having this conversation in Chinese, it's gonna get huge, like boom.
Yeah.
Because not a lot of people understand us right now. But
okay,
if they
here's
do,
what we're gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna translate. I want you to translate the conversation in real time. And
I'll try. I can try.
Did you do that for Isaiah's podcast?
No. But I put a subtitle, right? I put a translation on the bottom.
Oh, okay. Yeah. How popular was his podcast in China?
It's popular, but not that popular. Not that popular.
Like that episode?
Yeah, that episode. It's I think I have almost 10K views.
That's pretty good. I think we're getting I don't know, we're getting like 6 or 7 per episode that we post. Like between all the platforms, Isaiah, what do you think we get? Like 6 or 7, probably?
Yeah. I mean, at its peak, we were killing it. Recently it's been a little lower just because we're extremely inconsistent.
Yeah.
But we're more consistent. We have 2 podcasts in one day. That's pretty consistent.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I had more questions about the pro dunking thing.
Okay, wait. So how are we going to do this? Isaiah, this is what we're going to do. You're going to ask the question, and then Lun Chen, you can translate it, and then
translate the question.
Translate the question for them.
Yeah,
and then answer it in Mandarin, and then you can tell us what you said.
Okay, yeah, let's try that.
So, I mean, I don't know. You don't have to answer it, or if you're comfortable answering it, but do pro dunkers make are they able to make a living there? And if you know how well of a living, like how much money are they making or anything like that? Because I know in the US, it's only the top 3 guys in the world are the only people who can.
And it's sparse. Like the top guy makes a lot more than the second or third guy.
Yeah.
Wait, let me say this in Mandarin first. 刚刚以赛亚问的这个就是说，咱们中国的职业的扣匠啊，这个能不能自己养活自己，能不能挣钱啊？实际上，咱们知道这个中国的这扣匠其实是可以挣钱，而且挣的挺多的。所以我现在要这么跟他说。Let me say this: a pro dunker in China makes at least 5 times more than pro dunkers in the United States.
Give me like 5. The US estimate, like on average in USD, how much would they make annually?
I think the top tier dunkers.
Yeah, top 3.
Top 3. I think they can make at least 100K in USD, at least
a year.
Yeah,
top 3
at least.
Isaiah, you want to move to Beijing?
You're welcome here.
That's pretty freaking crazy.
This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take 5 athletes. We're gonna move to Beijing. Okay, I'll coach all of you guys in a house. What we'll do is we'll pull our money
and kill all the dunk contests.
Yes. We'll pull all our money together. Okay, you guys only have to pay. The dunkers will just pay for my coaching, right? You guys can take all the prize money and I'll just work on Mandarin. I'll just work on my Mandarin while I'm there and I'll live in Beijing.
Yo, that is crazy. Wow. I won't say so.
Speechless.
Yeah. So I think before last year, to give you a comparison, and this is strictly just from dunking. So in 2019, that's when I was like traveling a lot. I was doing dunk contests all year. That year, I made 19K off of dunking in 2019, and that's when I was like traveling. I went to China once, Australia, Japan, Latvia, and I was winning. So that's crazy. Now I know guys make a lot of money off of like social media and like brand deals and sponsorships and stuff like that. But yeah, there isn't a lot of guys clearing six figures.
One
guy. And I think you guys know.
Yeah, blue hair guy. All right, so now you can tell him in Mandarin if you want what your answer was, because I don't know if you said it.
Oh, I have already said it.
Oh, you said it in Mandarin already?
Yeah.
Oh, sick, perfect. Okay, Isaiah, do you have other questions you want to ask?
I can't think of any at the moment.
Okay, I have a couple. Okay, in terms of training, who does your training most emulate?
Wait,
in terms of like your coaching, again? In terms of your coaching style, like if you had to work with a pro dunker, who would you most emulate? Or like the jumper or something like that? Would you pick a track coach? Would you pick us? Who would you most emulate their training? Like like if you were coaching your dunk friends, what coach would you be like, I'd model it after this guy? You don't have to say me, outside of me, because I don't know if I'm an answer, but let's say someone else.
Other than myself?
So yeah, like where would you get your influences? Would you just like pick your, like, are you natively thinking of all of these concepts? Like you would just do it yourself?
Yeah. Here's the thing. I think I take a lot of my training from track and field, but I think dunking is still different from tracks, because in tracks, you don't have to move laterally, but dunking, sometimes you need a rotation. Track and field is like how do I say this? It's in one plane.
Sagittal.
Go straight.
Team sagittal.
Sagittal. Yeah. You don't have to train other planes, but basketball and dunking requires training in different planes. So that's one different thing. But the other thing is dunking is not fast. I don't think dunking is fast. Dunking is a relatively slow sport, I think, in my opinion.
You think in terms of like ground contact times and force and horizontal velocities and vertical velocities?
Yes.
I agree.
It's not
I agree
fast.
with that. I mean, you're probably
dunking requires a lot of slow training, kind of like squat. You can squat a lot if you want to dunk. But in terms of track and field, you should squat, but you don't have to squat too much. You don't need to squat too much. You got to be fast. You have the ability to generate a lot of force during that short contact time. You got to have really high RSI. You should know RSI, right? You got to have a high reactive strength index to run fast. But dunking is not.
You know what's really interesting about you saying that is we usually use like strength cycles, power cycles, elastic cycles, and the power and elastic cycles usually work on like 95% of the athletes that we coach. Because of injuries, I had never gotten to do a lot of elastic training, like plyos and stuff like that. This last, I think November through December, I did like traditional like depth jumps, quarter squats, that type of training, and my vertical actually went down doing elastic training.
You should share that in Mandarin to your listeners.
Yeah.
以赛亚刚刚说，就是他在这个 上一个阶段做了很多的这种弹震式的训练啊，跳身啊，然后这个超等长的训练，但是他的这个弹跳力反而下降了，所以这也是一个挺有意思的话题啊。
You got
Yeah.
it sick.
So yeah. So you saying that is, I don't know. I just it's really interesting, especially with what we recently come to see with that. But
I think what you said is really relevant, Lunchen. Like I've always said that too. Like dunking is a lot slower than track. It's way slower than track, and that's why I think that it some of the elastic cycles and the stuff that traditionally works with a lot of guys that do track, it works super well. But if you do a lot of that traditional elastic training with especially a 2 foot jumper and a slow ground contact time, 2 foot, and Isaiah is actually relatively quick for a 2 foot jumper. I've seen anywhere from 180 milliseconds to about 280 milliseconds.
You know what blew my mind is
Kilgannon's ground
I was
contact time slower than
faster.
yours.
Yes. Like I never in a million years, like if like I would have put money that his ground contact times would have been faster because he has such a fast run up speed.
Yeah, he does. But he plants so wide, I think it takes super long for his hips to translate over his block foot. I think that's how part of the reason why that happens. But yeah, I mean, you're looking at 250-ish milliseconds for the super elite guys, 260 to 250. And then off 1 foot, you're looking at like, I don't know, 210 to probably the speed jumpers. Yeah, the speed jumpers are probably around 180. But like that's rare. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't even happen super, super common. And in track and high jump, you're looking at 180 to 130, like crazy fast ground contact. That's high jump. So that's of the slower end for the jumps, and then so it's almost like you look at shot put and some of the ground contact times in shot put, it's probably, or disc or like some of these other ones with the rotational forces, you're probably seeing more similarities in terms of that than some of the jumps, which is outside of like acceleration, and that's crazy. That's like a crazy thing to wrap your head around, is that shot put and discus and javelin might be more similar than
it's basically train like a shot putter, don't do upper body, and stay light.
Facts. That's a fact.
Which is really, really interesting. And then if you're a 1 foot jumper, like everything's like pretty much applies, except you go into all the stuff high jumpers would basically do, but you don't even need the super short ground contact time stuff. You really don't. Like, I mean, you can, I think like the more elite you are, you can. But like if you get it, if you're getting like too far down that curve, like you're pushing, overloading ground contact times at like under 200 milliseconds and stuff like that, like odds are you're probably not in 3 or 4 steps, 5 tops, you're probably not hitting 170 milliseconds off the ground. Like it's very far fetched that that's going to be the case. And in dunking, you don't have to rotate. You don't have to flip over the bar. You don't need somersault. So in dunking, you can be on the ground as long as you want. In high jump, if you do that, you won't flip. It's impossible. No. Like it becomes like a push and like a compression and push versus like a deflection. And I think that makes it vastly, vastly different. So I don't know if you want to translate any of that relevance to your viewers, but
yeah, 他刚刚说就是说这个其实田径里边跑和跳的项目有时候对这个双脚起跳的并没有那么大的转化，反而是这个铅球啊、标枪啊、铁饼这些带一点这个旋转的，然后这个接触地面的时间更接近啊，更类似双脚起跳，所以这也是很多人这个可能去跑田径啊，但是感觉双脚起跳的这个高度并没有很好的这个发挥出来，说实际上有可能有这种可能性，这个铅球啊。标枪、铁饼这种训练更适合双脚起跳的这个人。Yeah, it's just that Isaiah, you were saying that your vertical went down during that elastic period, elastic block. But would you think would you think that is because you use too much energy or you use too much of your CNS, central nervous system, during the workouts? Which caused more fatigue.
So that's actually something that me and John discussed. He mentioned that the like latent effects, like just the fatigue from doing that type of training could last a couple months,
Mhm.
which is entirely possible. When I tested, I didn't feel fatigued. Like I went in feeling good, and we had done I think it was a 1 week deload. But again, it's entirely possible that I just didn't back off from the training, and I was feeling good at this last show, and that was a month and a half. So that was 6 weeks after doing the elastic
No,
training.
was it more than that?
No, because I think I tested. Yeah, I think I tested. We started doing the training when I moved to Florida, like January 1st,
Right.
like max strength.
So I've tested this. I've tested this a couple times, kind of, sort of, and I've done it a couple different ways because what we'll basically do is I'll have guys run that elastic cycle, and I'll test their vertical before and after. Some guys will jump quite a bit higher. I've seen like that athlete Jimmy Ho I was talking about. He is I think has a 44-inch vertical. He's like 5'8", Chinese athlete, and he he responds pretty well to that stuff. So now I've put him on a deload, extended deload, microdosing, load. So he's basically front loading the week, off on the weekends. I think he's been doing that now for 4 weeks, and he is I think it's Jimmy Large Legs. You gotta maybe further down. You might have to go to the THPstrength page, Isaiah. You're not that one might be good. I mean, so he's pretty short, 5'9", and I don't even know if you're gonna see some of his stuff. His progression's crazy.
Yeah,
it's so crazy. Like, he got way better. So for him, I think he's been doing. Yeah, he's strong. He's a pretty strong athlete. Box squats 455. He hit deep squat. I think Isaiah, he hit 445 this past cycle.
445.
Yeah. Yep.
Did we post him on the THPstrength page?
Yeah, we did. I've posted him quite a few times on that. That rim varies from 9.5 to 9.11 though. He's right there to the right.
Oh,
yeah. THP, look at that. There's Richard and Jimmy.
Okay.
In all their glory. I mean, he's good. He's pretty good. And his vertical during the heavy lifting usually goes down quite a bit. And then after deloading a bit, it comes right back up, and same thing like Isaiah, the same thing's kind of happened. So he went through that depth jump cycle, went to the max strength cycles, vertical was decimated. It was higher before the max strength cycles. Max strength cycles came in, was decimated. Now he's microdosing and his vertical's climbing up again. So I think it's like really hard to tell how long those latent effects of the elastic training is, because it's not variable enough where it's like, oh, for sure, like that's for sure what it is. And it's also not it's not like as concrete where it's like, oh, their vertical's super high now, so it had to be that, because they've had several months of loading and unloading between then and now. I've kind of said to Isaiah that for him specifically, because his 1 foot vertical went up a lot. And so you'd think, well, how is it possible that your nervous system's trashed if your 1 foot vertical is going up, but your 2 foot vertical is going down? Because 1 foot is probably more neurally maybe not more neurally demanding, but it's very neurally demanding. I don't know if you can make a case for either one.
Counterpoint to that is I am training age isn't the right word, but I'm more of a beginner when it comes to 1 foot.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. Sort of. kind of more compared to me, but I'm like an old sage when it comes to 1 foot jumping. So
Isaiah, how high can you reach off 1 foot?
I tested 40 inches last time, 40 inches off of my left leg, which is actually I can jump higher off my right leg.
Me too.
Yeah. It's just my right leg at the time I didn't feel comfortable because of injuries. I didn't feel comfortable jumping off of that, but 40 inches is my all-time PR.
That's crazy.
And I touched
11.4, 11.5.
I think it was 11.5 that I touched,
which is so impressive. When I tell you I was upset, I was a little upset. I'm like, I've trained my whole life for this. This kid did one block.
What was interesting is during that elastic cycle, I did no jumping off of 1 foot. No. And then on that deload week, I was jumping off 2, jumped for like an hour and a half. I was getting tired, and I was like, oh, let me try some 1 foot jumps. and then ended up like flying off of one. Which now that I remember, John, I tested 40 at the most intense week. That was before deload.
Oh, you didn't even.
Yeah.
He didn't even mention.
So I was feeling better the next week. So it's possible I could have tested 41 or 42.
I'm just gonna end it all. My life has no purpose anymore. Everything I've done is pointless.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. It's all relative. I love training, and I genuinely don't feel that way. But
comparison is the
funny.
thief of joy.
Exactly. I like exactly who I am and where I'm at in life. I'm totally content with it. Except sometimes I can't sleep at night. But
Lon,
other than that, I'm fine.
Lon, if you want to say this in Mandarin to your viewers, tell them one of the best pieces of advice that I can give somebody is never ever compare yourself to another athlete. Only compare yourself to the person you were. Compare yourself to yesterday. That's it.
And you should give a little bit of the background of what we just talked about for 20 minutes.
Yeah. That's philosophy.
Yeah.
那刚刚这个以赛亚说，这个他之前有一次，前一阵训练的时候单脚跳得很高，摸了一个11尺5，11尺5可能是我想想是多高啊？是3.40米大几。然后呢，就说这个他的这个训练也比较有意思啊。我们先跟他谈了一阵他的训练，然后就说这个 John 他一直是单脚起跳，但是他没想到以赛亚就是随便练了一个周期啊，就是一个中周期，应该是可能1个月吧，6周这样，结果就能单脚比他摸得高了，所以他就说这事儿很有意思。然后说这个运动员嘛，运动员就是这样的，就是他天赋也比较好啊。然后以赛亚就说你不能。他说以赛亚说啊，这个就现在看直播啊，然后包括看录播的观众一个最好的建议就是千万别跟别人比啊，跟你自己比。所以说这个还挺有哲学的，挺有意思啊。Right.
Sweet.
So, John, how high can you touch? Can you reach?
I can touch. I've touched 11, 2.5, 11.3, Isaiah, something like that.
It was a 39 that you tested.
39, 7, 11. So I think 11.2. Is that what I've touched?
Yeah.
I think 11.2.
But you jump way higher now. You just haven't tested.
I know, that's the thing. I need to like get a good testing day. I haven't practiced the Vertec much. So yeah. I really should do that, because there's days where I'm more streaky than Isaiah, even, for sure. Like there's been days where I've gotten close and I'm like, oh shit, my head is like very close to the rim right now. And I did not expect that to be the case. I think what a lot of people have been saying over the last, honestly, I've heard it more frequently over the last month, because I've been seeing people more frequently in person, is that like, and especially actually probably the last 2 months, oh shit, John, like you've gotten so much better at dunking. Travis, one of the athletes that we coach, you know, he had told me that in October, and then I saw some guys recently in Utah, and they were saying the same thing. Like, how did you get so much? I feel like you came out of nowhere. You went from like kind of average, like okay, to like really good, really fast. And I was like, well, there's a bunch of variables that played a role in that. But yeah, now I think I probably, like, my best days, I don't, Isaiah, what do you like, 41, 42 maybe on my best days probably?
I think so. The day I was feeling amazing, where I was probably around 41, 42, I've seen John, like my one-handers didn't look as good as his one-handers.
That's
I can't do the technical. I have really, really good hands compared to John.
We've measured how long it takes him to do like a tamala or like a between the legs, and it's literally like I'm 30% to 35% slower than he is. Like he can, not only that, but Isaiah can tap in to more of that vertical on those jumps. Like his flight time will be higher on those jumps than like my flight time will be on those same jumps, because he can just tap into that vertical more consistently and easily, because I think he's just more versatile when it comes to dunking and jumping, and like, I don't know, he just has that, I think, pre-activation, and I don't know, but you do.
I think it's definitely a comfort thing. Like your comfortability with the ball. The more comfortable you are, the higher you can jump while doing a trick. That's actually like Jordan Kilgannon. What makes Jordan Kilgannon so elite is you can ask him to do any dunk in the world, and he's going to use 99% of his vertical. when you'll get a normal dunker, a dunker who's not as good, and you ask them to do like let's say a 360, a reverse 360 East Bay off a lob, right? If you ask a regular athlete to do that, they're going to use 80% of the vertical. Jordan's going to be going 99% of his vertical on every single jump, which is a complete skill in of its own.
I definitely agree. Like I short my arm swing, I short my last stride. I don't run with the same velocity if I'm going to do a lob and do any trick dunk. I've gotten better. I think that's maybe the biggest way I've gotten better, but I'm not even close to some of these other guys. I think that's where people see me getting better at dunking is not because I'm even jumping that much higher. I'm definitely jumping higher, but I don't think I'm jumping that much higher. I think what's happening is
the technique's getting better, right?
Yeah, I'm tapping into more of that vertical, and my hands are getting faster. Like my dunk technique is getting better. Yeah, so it's like,
but I would guess for your vertical, my low end estimate is 41. I would say on the higher end, it's probably like 43, maybe
like my best days.
Yeah.
Oh, that's flattering.
I would give that. I would give
that's
it. That's
crazy.
That's flattering.
I've seen you dunking. You can jump high. You jump high.
Yeah, I do. It's just like I'm very kind of one trick pony. Like when I am tapping into that, 40 to 43 inch vertical, you're talking. I had good caffeine. My body's deloaded. The lob's perfect, and the court's nice. Lighting's right. I got the right shoes on, and I'm
and you got some and there's some people watching.
There's some people watching. Yeah. Then I'm popping off, and it's not like it's not like people I know who have expectations. It's like randoms that are walking. They're like, that kid shouldn't be able to dunk, and then I'm just punching shit. That's wherever. That's a rarity. It's almost like if Isaiah was like peeking it around the corner and I didn't know he was there. That's whenever I would have my best sessions. When people are there, I don't know. I really struggle to jump well. I think you've seen me pretty good a couple times, Isaiah, but I wouldn't even say consistently my best. I don't even know when you've seen me at my best, actually. That's a good question.
I don't think I've seen you at your best in person. I've seen some good days. Like I've seen some good days, but not like your best day ever.
Yeah, because I don't miss, and I miss a lot when you're around.
I'm sorry.
You get nervous, right?
I have that effect on people.
It's because he has such high expectations. He's seen me my best off two, actually. I say Isaiah has seen me fly off two. He's seen easily my best day off 2 feet. Not even close. Like I was almost windmilling on 9/11 and a half or something. And I was not even close to that. And then I just went crazy with it, which was fun. But yeah, for the most part, usually no. When the expectation is low, and if I'm jumping off one, the expectation is very high, and that's the difference. That's where things kind of change a bit. But yeah, I don't. What is your vertical lunge, Hen?
Mine?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not an athlete. I'm a coach.
Yeah.
Okay. I can dunk on my good days, but my dunk is one-hander, two-hander. That's it.
Oh, that's still good. How tall are you?
6.
Oh, okay. You're an athlete. You're an athlete. Hey, if you were to look up, like what percentage of the population on the planet do you think can dunk?
I don't know, probably 1 out of 10,000.
That sounds like an athlete to me.
I would rather. I've told people this before. I would rather dunk the way I do than own a Ferrari. If I owned a Ferrari, but I couldn't jump the way I do, I would feel like a loser driving the Ferrari. But if I jumped the way I do and drove a Ferrari, I'd be like, oh, man.
Yeah. But to be honest, I prefer a Ferrari.
So what if you could dunk like Isaiah? You'd rather take the Ferrari?
Still Ferrari.
That's lame. Boo.
But if Isaiah were to live in China or to make a living in China, he would make a lot of money, like tons of money.
So you're saying I could get a Ferrari?
Yeah, you can earn a Ferrari from your dunking. That's the good thing.
This is perfect.
Man, I said this. I think I said this in our last podcast, but I cannot wait till they open China back up.
They already opened up.
They opened when did they do that?
Last December. Yeah.
For dunk events, like you can travel
for anybody. Now China is fully open right now. That's why I've been working on this project that may have a chance to bring you guys to China.
Oh, this
Now
is
I'm working
awesome.
on it.
Yo,
Yeah, I'm finding
So-
sponsorships right now.
So I have to get my passport ASAP.
Yeah,
yes.
right now. You
John,
should do that
need
right
to go.
now.
You need to go tomorrow. You need
Yeah.
to go in and get the passport.
Get a passport.
People are gonna be like,
Get a-
people are gonna be like, you've never traveled out of the country. I'm like, no. Like, where are you going? Beijing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's
Like the first
crazy.
visa you ever get is China's visa.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, it is now 7:00. Isaiah, it's 10 for you. So
I still need to train.
and you have to train, which I don't know if you're even gonna
Wait,
get to.
why? It's already 10 o'clock.
Because he's addicted to the game.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So there's actually a reason why. I just finished rebuilding my home gym. So
Oh, okay.
I was doing that all day today, and it's now in my garage, so I don't have to drive to the gym anymore.
Yeah.
Luncheon, I would absolutely do. We would do weekly or bi-weekly segments. Not this
Yeah.
long, but I would love to do it regularly and just like
We should
chit
do
chat
that.
like this
We
and
should
shoot the
do that.
shit. I think it would be so fun.
I would totally be down too.
Yeah, but we
Yeah.
just need to make sure that we have like you have to translate for it. We can do it on your platform.
Yeah,
I'd be
no
down.
problem.
And then we can bring random guests on. We'll bring on like other dunkers from the US.
Only top tier dunkers.
let us-
that's
Like
let
the
us
best
know.
dunkers.
We could probably.
the best.
I feel like
You're the
Dan
best.
Gross.
Yeah.
Dan would do it. Dan would do it. Dan's oblivious though, but he would.
We could probably get Sutherland.
Let's say
Jordan
this: who are the elite? Like, who do you consider elite? Like anyone from Dunk League? Is that what you're thinking?
I think Isaiah for sure, and Jordan Sutherland, Dan Gross, and Jay Clark. I think,
We could try Jay Clark. He'd probably
Jay
be
Clark
down.
would do it. He would do it.
but I don't think Jay Clark is jumping as high as like
I
He-
have
2
I have a
years before.
story. I have a story about him from this week. I know I'll make it quick, but
Uh-huh.
at All-Star weekend, he does the first event, goes like he does decently, and then I get hurt. And I had an event that I was doing for Google that I couldn't do anymore. So I gave it to Jay Clark. And Jay Clark freaking killed it. Like it was me and John, we were filming him and like watching and stuff. And he was flying. And after the event, I was like, Jonathan, like, don't take this the wrong way, but I haven't seen you jump like that in forever.
Yeah.
And like you finally you like impressed me again. And he was like, what's that supposed to mean?
Later that night, he was like, "My mom doesn't like you anymore," or something like that. I heard.
But
him say
I
it.
think John Clark jumps like Jay Clark, like he jumps really, really high 3 years ago. But I haven't seen him jump as high as he did. Like
he
for
he
years.
had a meniscus surgery, and that took a long time to come back from. And he's been very, I would say, careful, like making sure that he's just maintaining his health instead of really trying to. I mean, he still squats heavy. He does a lot of stuff. I mean, to be fair, we haven't seen him. Last year at dunk camp was maybe the first time I saw him like really deloaded and like ready to jump. But he has not that. I mean, Isaiah, you have a little girl now, but he has, I think, 2 kids, 3 kids,
Yeah.
2 kids, Isaiah.
Yeah,
And he
too.
has a wife that is like pretty high up in the school, and then also she's like a principal or something. I don't know actually what she does. And then he also has a full-time job, like on top of everything he does with dunking. So it's like he's probably in the toughest position out of the pro dunkers, because like Sutherland doesn't have like, he does winning time and stuff. He's also a cyborg, so he can pretty much just focus on dunking. Kilgannon pretty much just focuses on dunking. Isaiah, for the most part, outside of THP, which is an extension of dunking, gets to focus on dunking. Doesn't like have to go work at Academy anymore, Nike anymore, or whatever, selling shoes. Like he just gets to do this. So it's tougher for him, I think, in that aspect, to his credit. But he's a little bit less. He's actually incredibly consistent. I would say like he's incredibly consistently good, but he's been like like those freak outlier days, I would say, are a little bit more sparse, maybe, is what I would say. But again, like I've never seen him fully deloaded since maybe 2019 when I saw him test 48, and then he had the meniscus surgery. So I don't talk to him like super frequently as much anymore to know like what his training has been like, but I know that meniscus injury was a little bit tough. And I mean, he's had one ACL reconstruction, right, Isaiah?
Yeah, one ACL.
Yeah. So it's, so I think if he were to like didn't have teaching on his plate, I actually think that he would. I think
Seeing
he
him
would be better.
Yeah, like seeing him that last weekend, I was like, okay, he's still got the juice like that. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
All
still
right,
got it.
On that note, I have to go. My girlfriend's gonna kill me because I've been
Okay.
sucking up, absorbing all the time. Paige, you can come in. You can say hi to the viewers. Okay, never mind. But I will catch you guys later. To the viewers of the podcast, I hope you enjoyed this. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to all this. Lunchen, thanks for having us on your platform. I don't know how you usually outro it. When I exit this, it'll shut the Zoom. So I don't know if you have anything you want to say.
这个大家问题的话，今天肯定是来不及问的，他们要走了。但是感谢大家的收看，然后之后我们可能会更频繁的做这种类似的 podcast， 然后也希望大家能继续关注，然后给这个视频点赞。Right, that's
Sweet. And then Lunchen, where can we find you? You're just Lun_Chen13, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I'm on YouTube right now. I'm on YouTube.
What's your YouTube?
Just Chen Lun.
Perfect. So we'll link that in the description for the video. But thanks for listening, guys. I'll probably post this. This is currently Sunday night, so I'll probably post this on Wednesday just to split up the podcast a little bit. But yeah, thanks for listening, guys. Peace out.